what works for me sometimes doesn't exactly work for the next guy, you know? The good thing about this is that I use all the information, all of it that it was available, all the nutrition, all the workouts, or your videos, or your comments, advices, and I just put them together, and little by little, I was tweaking it, just really little tweaks that make the difference for me.
Yep. And that is the real truth that you said, is everyone is built a little differently. But the cool thing about what I love about the program too, is there's enough of a structured starting point that you can start to get momentum and get some habits and get enough there that you can start to refine and experiment. And then once you dial in what works for you, it's like you're on Orlando's health plan. Yeah, it's like the Fit Father Project inspired, but you've kind of figured out like what works for you specifically. And what's so cool about that to me is that's what you can actually sustain. All right, my friend, welcome back to another episode here on the Fit Father Project podcast. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, and in just a moment, you're going to hear a conversation between myself and one of our amazing Fit Father program members, Orlando Rodriguez. Orlando is 55 years young. Emphasis on young, because over the past 160 days, Orlando has used our Fit Father programs to drop 35 pounds, pack on a ton of muscle, and get into the best shape of his life. And Orlando has many reasons to stay healthy. He's got his beautiful wife, Ruth, who's 13 years younger than him. Together between them, they have 5 amazing kids. Orlando is also the director of operations of a steel company in Austin, Texas, and he is a first sergeant in the Army Reserve. So Orlando's a man that is in leadership capacity all over the place, in his workplace and in his home life. And he needed to get back his energy, his confidence, his strength, and his vitality. And he used our Fit Father programs to do so. And Orlando's conversation and this whole story is so powerful because he really is living proof that you're never too old, over the hill, or too busy to get your health back in shape and to really follow the step-by-step process. And Orlando shares really the nitty-gritty on what it took, the mindset shifts, what he ends up doing with his workouts that was really effective for him. And I gleaned so much from this episode, and I think you're really going to too. So without further ado, let's get into today's conversation with Fit Father Orlando Rodriguez. All right, Orlando, welcome officially to the Fit Father podcast, my friend. I'm happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
So to kick things off, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to all the guys who are listening, your name, your age, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do for work.
So my name is Orlando Rodriguez, and I'm 55 years old. And I work as a director of operations in a steel company where I kind of manage around 70 people. And I'm also in the Army Reserves, and I've been in the Army for 18 plus years now. And I'm a first sergeant, actually at a medical readiness training command. So I care about another 70 soldiers. So I got about 100 people that I care for. So I'm always got to be setting the example for everyone.
Yeah. And a little bit about your family too. I mean, tell me about your wife and some of your kids.
So I do have a lovely wife. She's only 13 years younger than me. So, you know, I got to keep up with that. Also, I got 4 daughters and 1 son. And they range anywhere from 30 years old all the way to 15 years old. So I'm still active parent, you know, going to games, going to ballet, you know, doing a lot of stuff, and just gotta keep active all the time, you know,
Sure.
They maintain me. Yeah.
For sure. It's very clear that you're a busy man in leadership in a lot of different capacities, but a lot of people who depend on you being at your best. So I kind of feel like that's a good segue to why'd you start looking for the Fit Father Project, or at least looking online? What was going on with your health and your life at that point where you start to search and like want to improve things?
Yes. So you know, I don't want to call it kind of down point, you know, low point in my health or my life. It was more like a wake up call. And in all honesty, I don't know, approximately 8 months ago, I was at work, my civilian job, and there's a lot of stress. I mean, you deal with 70 people. There's a lot of going on. I mean, it's kind of type of warehouse environment. So, you know, a lot of personalities. Everybody got some issues, customers, all that. So one day, it was like around 8 in the morning. That day was kind of a lot of pressure early in the morning. And I kind of felt like I couldn't breathe. All of a sudden, I felt like I had a little bit of chest pain. And they did call the ambulance on me. So they came and they just took me to the hospital. Thank God, nothing was really that bad. I have a little bit of high blood pressure, but that was kind of a wake up call. And that's how I'll say, you know what? I was overweight, about 215 pounds, ranging from 215 to 220. So at that point, I said, you know what? It was a wake up call. I mean, and a lot worse. It could have gone a lot worse. So that's why I started in kind of working out on my own. You know, I say, well, I'm going to exercise. And I've always been doing some sort of exercising since I'm in the Army also. Yeah. But it wasn't as much. I'm in the reserve. So, you know, we know the active duty. So I started working out on my own, and it was going up and down. So it wasn't nothing too serious. I couldn't follow a good, decent program. There was hundreds of different things I was trying to do, and there was no really focus on what I was doing.
Yeah, makes sense. And you ended up finding us through just like the Fit Father Project through online browsing?
Yes, so I was browsing the internet. Of course, everybody does, right, to find information. So I was looking at, you know, when you look at training routines, images or something, you make a screenshot of that. So I was posting images of a bunch of workouts in my garage, right? I made a little space in my garage to work out. And one day, you know, when I was just browsing, looking for more workouts because, you know, I needed more challenge anyway. I just bumped into the Fit Father project. And actually, the one that I saw was the OSM program. And I look and I start reading and I look all these older guys there and like, wow, if they can do that, I can definitely do that. That looks like a good program. So I started kind of doing a little research and looking into that. And it didn't take me long to just get it. I mean, I said, this is a no-brainer. You know, I'm going to get this. And I'm a structured person. I like structure. So that's a good thing to follow. I saw that it was very thorough. So that's how I bumped into the program.
Nice. And you found OSM, which is our old school muscle building program, which is a lot of classic strength training. And then in the beginning of it, there's a couple lines on one of the early pages that says something about body fat, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me about that. And I mean, you can fill in the gaps there.
So yeah, in all honesty, I knew I was overweight, right? I knew I was about 26% body fat because the Army only allows you to be at 26%. If you over that, then, you know, you got to get to a weight program. You got to, you know, do some other stuff. But when I was reading, I read that it says, well, it's recommended to be at 20% or lower body fat. And I've actually started the program, and you know, I said, you know, I'm going to start because I purchased the program, so I'm going to start with this. But I saw in my first week, actually I did it for a week and a half. I saw that I was gaining weight instead of losing weight. And, you know, I went on Facebook with all the Brotherhood, right? I asked the questions and I started, you know, posting my concerns. And they say, hey, Orlando, you know, you're good to go, but I totally recommend you to go to FFP30X so you can start losing the weight. And then you can go and do the OSM. So guess what? I follow what they told me, and it worked out just perfectly for me. That's when I purchased everything. I mean, I'm like, I'm just going to get everything, you know. If I can say something, every penny that I put into this program, every cent that I put into this program is pay off 1,000%. It's well worth it.
That makes me really happy to hear as the guy who created all this stuff. So I'm really glad that you find 1,000x the value what you paid for as a business owner. I mean, man, I feel like I'm doing my job right by hearing you say that.
Yes.
So, So go ahead.
No, absolutely. You're right. And this is, it's a, it pays off in just many different ways, not only just your physical way, but it helped me in other ways. And we can talk about it more if you like.
I do. But I want to pare down as we're going through your journey. So now you've switched over to FF30X and you're starting to lose fat, and the workouts are different and the nutrition plan's a little more dialed in. What's your experience like starting FF30X? What are some of the first things you start doing and changing with your life? And what starts to change with your body, your energy, and your mindset throughout FF30X phase 1?
So, the phase 1, it was like everything else, right? It gives you, it's a little shocking. It puts you back into reality of what you really, what your body really is. And, in the sense that when I look at stuff, I say, well, that looks pretty easy. That looks like it's achievable. I can do it, in my mind. And I know in many other guys out there minds, it's like everything is possible, everything is achievable. But then you encounter the reality, right? And I watch every single video that you go out there and demonstrate the proper form to do all the exercise, which I like a lot, by the way. I shared those with my wife. Me and her, we look at the videos before I did the workout in the morning. But I came to the reality that I was more out of shape than I thought I was. Mm-hmm. So you got to be humble enough to accept the reality. And again, you got to do what your body lets you do and then progress from there. I think I started the Apex 10. I started with like a 15-pound dumbbell. And I'll be honest, I couldn't get to maybe level 7 at that time. But I never give up. I mean, I remember I was drenched in sweat, and I got on my knees many times, but I just kept trying until I completed. And then at the end, I was doing it with 25 pounds,
Nice. That's powerful. So, yeah. And I mean, the phase 1 workout Apex 10, absolutely no joke. And I mean, it definitely a humbling experience, but also it is really cool how quickly your body can adjust and improve once you start to do it. I mean, within 30 days to make that kind of improvement in the exercises is substantial. But I imagine what your weight loss was a lot more than just the workouts. I bet it was some changes to your nutrition. So what'd you start to change when you were getting into the meal plan on phase 1?
So I definitely started eating better. I follow the plan, right? And when I went grocery shopping, I got all the veggies, and I got salads. I changed. I bought a lot of fish. So I changed my diet completely, and that makes a huge difference. And in the sense that you're not only changing your diet. I did a lot of supplements. Mm-hmm. All the ones you recommended, I just bought them all, to be honest with you. And and that made the difference because I had the energy to do the workouts. Mm-hmm. When I tried the workout the first week, I didn't catch up yet to the nutrition part. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I felt it. I felt weak. I felt my body. I could see that I wasn't performing well until I start getting that nutrition. And to be honest, this is my experience. It didn't kick in after a week or two after I was getting that nutrition. So mm-hmm. It didn't if you guys are out there expecting that you're going to eat and take this supplement and 2 days later you're going to get all this energy. It's not, it didn't happen to me. It took a little longer than that. But once you get it, man, it's something that you never had before. Or if you had it, it was many years ago, and you kind of feel like you were back in your 20s again in a way.
Totally. It takes a little bit to get the inflammation down, to get that vitality back, the metabolism functioning properly, and just have the consistency. And once you're in that groove, that's great because, you get that energy and then you can go harder on the workouts and then you improve more here and it helps your mindset. So tell me about how long you go through FF30X, what kind of things about the program in terms of different types of workouts you encountered at different phases, or maybe some of the fasting stuff. Like what was most powerful for you, and also how much weight did you lose before you switched to muscle building?
So every workout was different, and that's another thing that I like. I'm a person that I constantly need a challenge, right? I get bored quickly. I'll be honest. I get bored quickly. If I'm doing the same thing all over again and again and again for too long, I just get bored, and maybe I just, kind of just try to find something else. But the good thing about this is that every month you changing the workout. There was the Apex 10. And then there was the double trouble, and then you had the Great Destroyer, and then you had the assault, and then you have the descent down there. I mean, it was like you finish 1 month and then you go to the next one, some new challenges. Another powerful thing that I did was the fasting. I started with just 1 day a week, right? And I remember, I think I did it on a Sunday to Monday. And it worked out for me. And then I changed it up to be a little more aggressive. And I did it 2 times a week. I did it Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mm-hmm. Now, with the fasting, there was a moment that when I started it, I had to change my routine a little bit because I was fasting 1 day and the next day it was kind of either double trouble or Great Destroy. It was a little tough. So I felt like I could feel the difference. I mean, and this is the good thing about this program, that first of all, everything is laid out for you. But second, you have the ability to go on Facebook, on the Brotherhood, and you can ask questions. There's a lot of people that have been through and done this before, and they can tell you or give you good tips about what you're doing wrong. And I always reach out to them and see what what the comments are, and you take the best one that you think is going to work out for you. But you have to tweak everything to your own self. Yeah. Not everyone is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. So what works for me sometimes doesn't exactly work for the next guy, So I the good thing about this is that I use all the information, all of it that it was available, all the nutrition, all the workouts, or your videos, or your comments, advices, and I just put them together, and little by little, I was tweaking it, just really little tweaks that make the difference for me.
Yep. And that is the real truth that you said, is everyone is built a little differently. But the cool thing about what I love about the program too, is there's enough of a structured starting point that you can start to get momentum and get some habits, and get enough there that you can start to refine and experiment. And then once you dial in what works for you, it's like you're on Orlando's health plan. Yeah, it's like the Fit Father Project inspired, but you've kind of figured out like what works for you specifically. And what's so cool about that to me is that's what you can actually sustain. It's not like you're just following a piece of paper. It's like you have like a dialed in routine that now works great for you. So you're doing the fasting. How quickly is your body changing, and how much weight do you lose throughout Fit Father 30X?
So my body's changing fairly quickly every week. Pretty much. I was averaging about 3 pounds a week, 3 pounds, sometimes 4. Depends on the water intake, which I was drinking a lot of water. Again, following the guidelines, probably even going above the guidelines a little bit. But so at the end of today, I lost about 35 pounds. Nice. With the program.
And what did your body fat change from? You were 26 at the right peak of that Army Reserve. Where did it go down to?
18%.
Yeah.
So I lost 8% of body fat from 26 all the way to 18%.
Nice.
And probably I haven't done it again, my measurements, but this can sound funny, but it's going to happen to all you guys out there. I just last Sunday I had to do a closet rearrangement, and I had to donate more than half of my clothes. I even bought 2 pair of pants in December, just 3 months ago, and they don't fit me anymore, believe it or not. I had to donate brand new pants, which is fine with me. I love to help people out there.
Yeah, it's got to feel good to have that trimmer waistline that you had as a younger man, right? I mean, especially at 55, feels good.
Absolutely. Yeah, it feels good. And I feel like I feel like I'm even in better shape than I was when I was in the 20s, to be honest.
I mean, let's just pause and just appreciate that for a second, that a 55-year-old body with the right inputs can be healthier, stronger. I mean, I'm sure you're more cardiovascularly fit too. I mean, imagine like guys in their 20s trying the Great Destroyer right off the bat if they're not exercising, not a chance, right? So if you go through FF30X, all these phases, you are a certified badass in my book. I mean, there's no doubt about it, being able to go through all that.
And you're right. Again, I like to set the example, and I'll tell you something. There's things in life that come to you, like come in your mind, and sometimes we don't follow. Right? We kind of put them away, and they still kind of come in. And I always a firm believer that the universe will put things in front of you, but so you have the opportunity to kind of use them for your benefit, right? And when this came about, when I saw this program, I think there was something telling me, hey, you need to prepare for your next phase in your life. And there's something that is about to come that you need to probably be in better shape. Mm-hmm. And guess what? The one thing that came, it was the new position I got with the Army now, being the first sergeant. That was a call that I never expected. That was a promotion that I never expected. But basically I have to be setting the example for all these troops, right? In most of them are way younger than me. I'm probably the oldest guy there, if not one of them. But I probably beat many of the younger guys in the 20s right now. Oh, yeah. I do a lot of running. I mean, I probably run right now 2 miles in less than 60 minutes, nice. Which is pretty good. I probably, the Army changed their fitness test, by the way. They used to have 3 events: push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run. Mm-hmm. They done away with that. They say, that's not good enough. So they made one that is called the Army Combat Fitness Test. It's a CFT. That's 6 events. Okay, so you have the 2-mile run, you have a plank that in one of your trainings you got the plank in there, mm-hmm. and you have to do the plank. You have to have a relay back and forth with heavy weights. You have to deadlift 140 pounds minimum, and you have to throw a medicine ball. So they have 6 events now that we didn't have before. So everybody needs to be in shape. And I can guarantee you, there's a scoring system. For my age, I probably maxed that out right now.
Oh, I'm sure you would. That's really cool to hear. And I imagine in just the position, it must help your confidence to feel like you're in a body that looks, feels, and performs that much better. So on that note, mm-hmm. I kind of want to ask you about, were there any mental, emotional, and spiritual shifts that kind of happen throughout this process?
Yes, that's another area. So it's not all physical. It's a lot of mental and a lot of spiritual. What I can tell you is that since I've been doing the workouts, that's like my, I started at 4:30 in the morning. Okay. And as the programs, different programs, different month progress, sometimes workouts will take you a little more. So I kept adjusting the time. So now I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, 3:30 every single day, except Sundays. Sunday is my day off. 3:30 in the morning, and do a stretching for like 15 minutes, and then I go right into the workouts. But it became a mental space. I mean, all the stress that I have for every day, it's just like disappears in the morning. I start, I do a little bit of meditation now, like 20 minutes meditation. I put my stopwatch and I set it up for 25 minutes. And since I've been doing that, it's just so much better. I'm another thing that improved in my life is sleeping. I couldn't sleep for nothing. I mean, I have this type of mind that runs 1,000 miles an hour, and I have so many stuff in my mind. I had everybody's issues, everybody's problem. I take them home. I mean, I'm always thinking about a solution for this person or that person or this group, always. And since I started this training, no kidding, I sleep like a baby. And that, for me, that's a game changer right there, because I needed that sleep. I needed that that stress to go away. I needed to connect more. Might sound kind of weird, but connect more with the universe. Connect more with people in my mind, and I get all these good ideas in the morning. After I work out or while I'm working out. So it's been a game changer, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it sounds like you have this personal sacred time in the morning where it's integrating body, mind, spirit, it's setting yourself up for the day. And what you said is actually just very true. It's like when we're kind of inactive and more sedentary, but we still have stressful lives that's running the mind, it's so easy for there to be sleep problems, which is crazy. Yeah. And then once we introduce physical activity, even if nothing changed with any of the stress and the busyness of our lives, the physical activity helps us sleep better. It's like our bodies need this anchor of physical activity to have good sleep, especially amidst stressful stuff. So I'm really glad that happened for you, because sleep is one of the greatest things for longevity. And I know you have a lot of things to stay healthy and strong for. And I hopefully you get another 55 years, right? So that'd be amazing.
I got so much stuff so much goals that I want to accomplish still. I mean, there's so much more that I want to do. And I didn't want to be the one that retired and retired at home, unhealthy, with no energy. I'm not that type. I want to retire that I can do anything I want. I can travel wherever I want. Yeah. I can do the things that I want to do. It can bear to think that I will retire and I won't be able to do those things. So this is so important for me, and another point is that, for these trainings and this change of life, you change your kind of your life, your lifestyle, right? Of what you want to do, lose the weight, be healthy. It takes a minute. Studies have proved that for a person to change a habit, the average person to change a habit is about 66 days. Mm-hmm. It's not a week. It's not 2 weeks. It takes about 66 days. So, again, this is out for everyone out there. Just you have to give it time. You have to stick to it. You got to be consistent. You can never give up. You got to keep going. Whatever you can do that day, do it. Don't procrastinate. Don't stop. Don't say, I cannot do it. Just do something that day. And then you see, sometimes I struggle. I have struggled before, like I don't want to wake up, but I still wake up. I forced my mind to get up. I said, no, you're not going to dictate how I'm going to live. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do the workout. Sometimes I feel sore. I felt sore many times, and guess what? After I start working out, the first 5 to 10 minutes, I might be sore, but then all of a sudden it goes away. So that is the one. It's just like running. When you run, if you ever run a marathon, I run many of them, half marathons. The first mile is the hardest mile. After that, it's just like your body gets used to it. It's just get warm up and you just keep going. So don't ever give up.
Yeah, I think that's a really great lesson. And also why people are so successful with Fit Father program, because it's so structured during those early 66 days, where it's really, you need to like protect and guard that momentum. And I also think it's helpful, right, to have the Brotherhood Facebook group with you too, to kind of like encourage you during that early time. That's like probably a big variable in your success.
It is. I mean, I like it a lot. I post a lot of stuff. I post my progress in there. I got this little chart. I'm very methodical what I do. So I post this little chart, and they know what I've been kind of accomplishing from day one. I started in October 4th, actually. And I think it took me about 160 days, 65 days to get to where I am now. So not a long time either, not a long time. I think that's pretty good. And again, I always reach out and ask for advice, and I'll give advice to other people, and I always give them support, and it's a good place to support each other. We're all struggling with the same thing in a way,
Yeah.
So that's super good.
Yeah. And I want to point that out too, 160 around so days, if we kind of circle that back, that's when you were effectively kind of like on old school muscle phase 1, thinking that I was going to start lifting some weights and becoming super jacked. Little did you know, you went through this process of shedding the body fat, building this momentum, even toughening your mind and strengthening that. But now you're back, and I know you're using old school muscle phase 1 now, and you're about 4 weeks into that. What does that feel like now, hitting the iron in a different way after you've gone through that weight loss journey? What's it been like now doing some classic muscle building as a 55-year-old guy who's got a lean stomach and has some serious experience under his belt over the last bit of time?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, I got all this energy again. I feel strong. Like today, I work out. I took the day off today from work, so I started my workout today about 7:00 in the morning. What I can say that type of workout is more methodical. It takes me a little longer because I gotta change the weights, right? But I enjoy it a lot, and I'm always pushing myself. I put it. 5 pounds more, 2.5 pounds more. Let me do one more rep or two more reps, and I push myself, but I definitely enjoy it. I'm building. This is my last workout of my 3rd week, and I can see the big difference. And I haven't gained no weight, but I haven't gained a lot of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fantastic to hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's amazing to hear. What's been your experience with some of the principles in old school muscle phase 1, like the reverse pyramid rep scheme, or doing some stuff, working out full body 3 times a week there? Like, what's that been like?
I mean, again, it's the the difference. You keep changing it up. There's always, like the Monday is one workout. The Wednesday becomes a different workout, and then today is actually today they call it the light workout. I think light body workout, which I didn't think it was nothing light about it, to be honest with you. But
the higher rep is still tough. It's not that much lighter, but it's higher rep.
The legs feel it. I can feel it in my legs. Like today, for example, I did. I bumped up my dumbbells for the first exercise is
just dumbbell squats or deadlifts. Maybe you were doing.
It's not deadlift. It's the other one. But anyway, I bumped my way to 30 pounds, and this is the one that you put both of your dumbbells on the side and then just kind of kneel down. I forget the name right now, but anyway, then you have on that one, you have the push-ups, and then you have you have also the incline barbell lift.
Yeah.
So that workout is I've been enjoying every minute of it. So
nice.
It's good.
All right, I have another question. What's been going on with your family as they're watching you go through this journey? Your spouse, your kids. I mean, I imagine they're seeing you dedicate a lot of effort to this, and visually they're seeing a lot of changes. What's your relationship with your family been like? What have they said? What have you seen? And what have been some of the victories and things that are memorable about that part of your life?
Yeah, so there's two of the girls that live with us. The other ones are already grown up and live somewhere else. But the two that live with us, they always been supported. They always they had thrown some comments before I started working out. I got a pool in my backyard, so we in the summertime we use the pool, and they actually made fun of my stomach sometimes, but now they're like, they're all supported, and they're like, man, you done so good, and look at you now. And they start kind of joking with the mom and say, hey, mom, what's up? I mean, what you gonna do now? But they always been super supportive about it, and my wife is always there she's the one that takes my pictures, and she's like, man, you're looking so good, and I'm so proud of you, so it gives me a lot of energy to go out with them and spend some time. I mean, before we sit down in the like watch TV and this and that, and we just changed a lot. Everything for everyone has changed. The best thing again is that I plan to retire. I said, hey, I'm going to retire at 65. Not even one day more. The day I turn 65, that day I'm going to tell my boss, I'm like, I'm quitting. Don't even expect me the next day. And I know by following this, getting started with this and by continuing this, because this is something that I would never stop. In all honesty, I will always. You got me for lifetime. I will keep in there. I will keep supporting the guys, and whatever other workouts came out, I'm going to keep doing them.
Nice.
And this is something I'm going to keep doing, and I want to do way after I retire, just to as soon as I can do it.
For sure. And I mean, there's some good examples of a lot of guys that are really inspirational to me that are still lifting weights and doing these types of workouts into their 80s, and so it's possible, especially with the foundations you're building right now. It's absolutely amazing. So I have a question for you. What's next for you the rest of this year? What are some of your goals with your physical fitness? Probably finishing Old School Muscle Phase 1. You have another training block. You have a number of weeks and months ahead on that. What's the goal with your health and your body the rest of this year?
Well, my goals is really to, like I said, keep doing the trainings. Probably bump back after I finish the OSM. I'll go to the sustainment part of the FF30,
yep.
And on phase 4 on that, and obviously keep training really hard so I can max the Army physical test and get 100% of all the events, and just brag about it, and just show all these kids that all men can do it.
For sure. I mean, that's a really important thing. And I actually don't want to, I know it's a joke, but it's kind of not. I think it's important for young men to see old men kicking ass, because it's one, really should check them that, get your shit going, but 2, showing them what's possible. And I think you're doing a great service to a lot of young men by, giving them someone to look up to.
Yeah, it's good motivation. You don't want your first sergeant to beat you. You always want to beat them. So it's good motivation for them. It's a good example. Like I said, I always like to provide a good example, lead by example, right? Lead the way by example. And the only way you can do it is, doing stuff like this, being healthy, eating right. And that's part of my job. I'm supposed to be taking care of their health too.
Yeah.
And how can I give advice if I'm not following the advice?
Yes.
So that's another thing. I'm not an expert. This is not my expertise. Training, nutrition. I'm not. That's not my expertise. I'm a civil engineer, by the way. So I'm trusting the expert, which is you, right? And I learned so much, and I really, really appreciate it. I mean, I read every single article out there. I read all the trainings, and that's what I like. That everything is out there. Everything is put and explained. In a way that you can understand it, and you give the right advices, and even say what products to use and what not to use. And I like that.
For sure. It makes me happy to hear that you're on this journey of lifelong learning with us. And honestly, it just makes you more robust. The more you learn, the more things make sense in our mental models of all this, and everything just becomes more intuitive. And you haven't been doing this that long. It's been this time, and I can only imagine what it's going to be like in a couple of years with that much more experience under your belt. So in closing, I'd like to ask you to speak to some guys in the Brotherhood who are just starting out. What advice you'd give a guy who, feels like doesn't know if he can necessarily do this, or is just starting and maybe does feel like he can do this? What's some advice you give to guys in the early? And then I want to ask you a second bit of advice to guys that, are in a stage where you're at. So this might be even advice to yourself, where you have seen some success. What now is the next advice for a guy who's at your stage now? So let's start with the beginner, and then we'll move on to a man who's at your stage now.
Yeah. For the beginner, my advice is that, first of all, you can see this really works. You see many of us already kind of done this. This is, not gimmicks, not anything like that. This is something that really works, but you have to put the work. You have to do the work. You have to be positive about it. It's going to take a minute to change the habits, or maybe even the bad habits that you have now, but it's possible. Nothing is impossible. If you think about it, if you dream about it, if you want to do it, everything is possible. Don't ever quit. The moment you think about quitting, that's the moment you need to go and probably post something maybe on the Facebook page, send somebody. You need to reach out to someone. Don't. This is not on your own. We're all here to help each other. So please, if you got the program and you haven't started yet, don't procrastinate. Start now, and you will see the difference. So
it's very, very good advice. The mindset of possibility, and sometimes that just means looking at more stories, listening to this podcast, hearing more evidence that it is possible, and even borrowing the mindset strength from a guy like you who's been there, and you're saying like, look, man, I actually did this. This is possible. So even if you don't, borrow my mindset for a second, enough to get you moving, and then you'll see for yourself. So that's really cool.
So in the next one, for the ones that are already at my level, I would say, I'm bragging now, at my level, right? You got to keep going. It took a lot of hard work to get here. It took me a lot of hard work to get here. It's been a sacrifice. I wake up early in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, and I like it though, but it's still it's a sacrifice you gotta make. There's some days you're not gonna feel the same as other days, but we have to keep going. Like I said, I will never ever stop doing this. I will do this till my last day. That I'm able to do it. So if you're at this level, or even a higher level, or getting to this level, this is not the end. It's something, it's a lifestyle change. You need to just keep going and with it. Don't never look back. You got to keep going forward. Okay?
That's great advice. Yeah. This is not the end. It's like at this stage now, it's just about the road ahead. And like, I think that's what I can really tell from what you said, how convicted you are in that. And I believe that mindset and that belief is going to be what carries you when many other guys who don't understand that or don't feel that way may fall off track at some point. You have that conviction, and that's the powerful wind in your sail.
Yeah, don't fall off track. I mean, you worked very hard for this, so don't fall. Before you do, please reach out to someone.
Yeah, that's great
advice. We'll get you moving.
For sure. Well, Orlando, thank you for coming on today and sharing your heart, and congratulations on your amazing progress. I am excited to see what your final numbers are at the end of Old School Muscle Phase 1 in terms of the strength gains. I'm excited for you to absolutely crush the Army standards and the fitness test there, and to see all that. That's going to be amazing. Yeah. And best of luck on another amazing year ahead, and all the great success. And thanks for coming on and sharing your story.
I sure appreciate it, and you'll see the results. I will post them in the Facebook page, and I'm appreciated for the opportunity to talk to you guys.
Thank you very much, my friend.